Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Well, good afternoon. Greetings to you. Thanks for being with us. Beautiful day. Another beautiful day here in Western Pennsylvania. Kath, good to see you. Happy Prime Day 2.
Is it?
Prime Day 2.
You know, I have not even investigated that at all.
Haven't you? I've been looking at it.
No.
I mean, you know,
Is looking at it the same as taking part in it?
I did take part in it.
Oh, you did take part in it.
Yeah.
Did you buy something of value?
I did.
Something of significance?
Well, I bought some toothbrushes. I mean,
that's like the dullest. That's like the dullest thing you could
possibly
possibly
on sale.
do.
I felt good, and I bought some razor blades.
Wow, that is duller.
That's
one step worse.
Have you bought razor blades?
Razor blades are so expensive.
Exactly. So I felt really good about it. I bought
I've been nursing the same razor blade for.
Don't do that.
You know how you have to.
Oh, don't.
You know. Oh yeah. I'm nursing it.
No.
Look, both of you are shaking your heads, but I'm telling you.
All of a sudden, you're shaving your legs. It's going to be like hacked to death.
Yeah, maybe.
Me, I'm shaving my beautiful face. I got to be careful there. You don't.
Of course, that's
don't want to nick
job
it.
one.
Yeah, right. And here's the weird thing. This is like my kids, my boys, like they want to use my razor blades. Like, well, this is mine. All of a sudden, I see somebody else's stubble. Clean the thing if you're going to use.
Did you say I thought this was an empty nest, people?
Yeah, I thought so too, but apparently it's not because they're coming back and they're using your personal hygiene items.
That's frustrating.
It's horrific. I think it's just
unhygienic. Are you getting a good deal on your razor blades and toothbrushes?
Yeah, I am.
Better than you would normally would?
Of course I am, because it's a Prime Day. Yeah, I get a 40% savings on some blades.
Okay.
And I don't know. I did. I saved some cash.
Okay, Christy, have you done anything like that?
I did get some stuff. I got some camera equipment for my freelance business.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It was great.
Really, you got some great deals.
I got really great deals.
Saving some cash. Just trying to.
I bought a runner, like a rug, for my kitchen on another website. I didn't even think about the Prime thing.
It's okay. I mean, some people say, it's like, it's
just a lot of hype.
Yeah.
Remember the time, was it pre-COVID, when that all-in-one cooker, what was that called?
What?
You know that thing.
The Instant Pot?
Yeah, the Instant Pot. Remember when that, they sold 800,000 of them on Prime Day?
Really?
And then 6 months later, nobody was using them.
Why? Because they were junky?
Well, it was like a fad. You know what I mean? Like everybody got into the Instant Pot. Everybody had to get an Instant Pot. It was Prime Day. Everybody's buying Instant Pots. And then 6 months later, all you could see at yard sales were one Instant Pot after another.
See, I mean, it's just more stuff for the kitchen, right? Another appliance on the kitchen. Like, how many things do you have in your cabinet, in your kitchen,
my tea maker is the only thing.
Tea maker, the only thing, really.
That's the only thing.
Like
I
mixers,
have
all
that all
that
put
stuff.
away because I'm trying. I just don't want to have that out if I can.
Anyway, go to Prime and buy something today.
I don't think I'm going to
support the economy.
I don't think
worldwide.
I am. I don't think I am.
All right. How about a tablet? You got a tablet?
Well, I have my iPad.
Right. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah, you don't. My husband bought me this iPad. This was ironic with our tax return, and this was before COVID, so it was 2019. Our 2019 tax return, and then it got delayed by the IRS, and we've still haven't gotten it.
2019. Mm-hmm. How about 2020?
We owed in 2020.
2021?
I don't know. Oh yeah, no, we paid in 2021, but our 2019
still out there,
still waiting,
and no penalties or interest for them.
Nope.
No.
So I've been waiting to
pay off your iPad.
Exactly.
It'll be broken by the time it's done.
That's so true.
You know that's true, right?
My battery's already going way down in capability.
Life is hard.
It is. It's a lot. And technology is hard to keep up with because, you have all these devices and, they start declining in age.
Of course they do.
And then operating systems are, keep coming out. And then you're constantly, my phone, which is relatively new, is not communicating very well with my car, which is relatively old. It's just a big mess, John.
It's what it is. It's all first world problem. First world.
But I have some interesting news stories to share with you. I'm happy to do it.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Without further ado, what the hoodly?
Yeah.
You paused, so I just hit the button.
I like it.
It was a dramatic pause.
You don't even have to say anything,
making
John.
some space there.
I'm just going in with Wednesday.
Bring it.
July 13th.
Give us the news.
2022.
Thank you.
Number one. A former Boston police officer who was beaten more than 25 years ago by colleagues who mistook him for a suspect will be the new leader of the city's police department. How about that? Michael Cox, age 57, who's black, was working undercover in plain clothes in 1995 when his fellow officers mistook him for a suspect in a fatal shooting and left him bloody and beaten on the ground.
Oh my gosh.
The officers later tried to cover it up. Today, Michael Cox told reporters it was a tough time, but that he chose to stay in the department and improve things instead of walking away from policing, a job he loved.
Good grief.
Quote, since then, in 1995, I've dedicated my life to making sure that both the Boston Police Department and policing in general have grown and learned to make sure we have structures and mechanisms in place to make sure we never repeat that kind of incident against anyone again, he told reporters. That's from CBS News. Congratulations to Michael
Excellent.
Cox.
Good job.
Number two, speaking of police, John, sounds like we need a lot more of them in the South Side.
Oh, yeah, I saw this story. But they're closing bars.
Two bars
because of the clientele.
Two bars have shut down indefinitely days after a video began circulating of an act that allegedly took place at a private pool party at the venue. This was announced the same day as Mayor Ed Gainey and reps from the Department of Public Safety met virtually to talk about the mayor's plan for the South Side and East Carson Street corridor. Keep in mind, said Zone 3 Commander John Fisher, I only have 15 officers down there. That's according to the Trib Review news partner WPXI TV. Sorry, I'm choking. To give you a comparison, he said, this time last year I had 30 officers down there. Now I'm working with half, so we're lacking in manpower. City and police leaders have been trying for more than a year to rein in unruly conditions on the South Side that began with overcrowding in the weeks and months after pandemic restrictions expired last year. But issues, of course, go far beyond the pandemic. This summer has seen a spate of shootings on East Carson and several side streets.
I'm not going down there.
It's just tragic.
If you're going to the South Side, where are you going?
I'm going to the pretzel shop.
I'm going to Mike and Tony's.
Oh, that's fine. Both good options.
Souvlaki.
Okay.
Yeah, gyro.
Number 3. You might be surprised to hear that air travel in Europe is a bigger mess than it is here in the States. Apparently, though that is true, overcrowded terminals, delayed and canceled flights, and thousands of bags piled in airports. I mean, listen.
Nope, stay home.
Things are especially rough for people who are going from one European city to another European city, okay? The airlines apparently are focusing on long-haul intercontinental flights. So if you're going New York to Paris, you might have a good shot. But if you're going from like Paris to Frankfurt or Frankfurt to Amsterdam or something like that, it's like a gigantic mistake. Thousands of passengers have filled up terminals as they wait for a way to get where they're going. There are more than 1 million fewer ground handlers than there were before the pandemic.
1 million?
1 million.
Oh, my gosh.
Some countries have put limits on the number of people allowed at a terminal at any one time. Listen to this. At Dublin Airport in Ireland, the line forms at 2 a.m. And by 3 a.m., travelers are in the streets outside the terminal, in some cases waiting 3 hours to get to the airline counter.
Holy smokes.
That's not even going through TSA and all of that.
Right.
Just this week, British Airways canceled 10,000 flights that were set for the summer. That brings their total to 30,000 canceled flights.
Oh, my gosh. You'd be better off going to Zilli
Oh, my
Noble
gosh.
and Butler.
It's so true. Number 4. And we know that many managers, John, struggling with employees who only want to work from home. Well, today's Wall Street Journal highlights an unlikely perk drawing reluctant workers back to the office, and that is air conditioning. Free pizza hasn't worked, but the Journal tells several stories of employees who think they're making a good decision due to the summer temps at home. One sales guy said he had an important video meeting. I knew it would be long, and I just didn't want to have to sit in my home office and melt. Another 33-year-old associate at a law firm said, I just can't concentrate when it's so hot in my apartment. The office air conditioning makes it worth going in. And that is your top 4.
Interesting. I'm old enough to remember when, like, movie theaters would promote, come on inside, air conditioned. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Right.
Like, it was like a big deal. Right?
It's a big deal for us still.
Yeah.
I wore a sweatshirt today because I was so cold yesterday.
It's cold in
studio.
here today.
No, I feel good.
No, you kid.
No, I feel good. I'm high visibility.
Very nice. Yeah, you like on a road crew?
Yeah, I feel good about it.
You're out there with the orange cones. Here's Kath. Right, be careful out there. All right, that's a heck of a lot there.
We have a lot coming up on today's show. We're going to try to open up the phones, and we're going to do open phones. Like, ask us anything.
What?
Yeah, ask us anything. We're going to do that at 4:35 and 5:35 today.
Got a question? Maybe we got an answer.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you want to know something about us or the show or whatever. No. What do you mean? No. That's what it is.
All right. Open phones.
Coming up next.
No, not
prayer practice. Not open.
101.5 WORD. If you've been privileged to be a part of something great at its beginning, like if you were part of a new church plant, then you know the special kind of joy that brings. Well, this week on Through the Bible, we hear about the first sermon ever preached in the church. It's an exciting story, so hop aboard the Bible bus.
Through the Bible, this evening at 9 p.m. on 101.5 WORD.
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and of course windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate and inspection today at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
Parents are an extremely important part of their child's education.
Kara Bell, principal at Jubilee Christian School in Mount Lebanon.
We try to partner with parents and try to instill values that the parents want as well. We love to have parents come in and volunteer for activities, for recess, for lunch, to help out in the classrooms. Field experiences once a month. We try to team so that we can meet the child's needs.
Imagine, Believe, Achieve. Jubilee Christian School, K through 7th grade, now enrolling for the fall at jubileecs.org. If a super flexible schedule, great benefits, paid time off, and a signing bonus sound good, consider NAMS Transportation. NAMS has provided safe transportation to Northern Allegheny County and Pittsburgh seniors for over 40 years. Van drivers start at $17 an hour, sedan drivers at $14 an hour, plus a $2,000 signing bonus for part-time drivers and a $4,000 signing bonus for full-time. Must be 25 or older, no CDL required. Call 412-406-8611 today.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Kath, starting your day, do you have yourself a regular prayer practice?
No, and I wish I did. I regularly pray, but I don't have a regular prayer practice.
Routine.
I don't have a routine.
Mm-hmm. Our first guest, Amy Julia Becker, is back with us. She's been a guest on our show over the many years. She's a podcaster and author. We'll talk about that as the segment goes on as well. But Amy Julia, welcome back to the show. You yourself have a regular prayer practice, do you not?
I do, and thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. So tell us about this, Amy Julia. It's one of the things I'm just dissatisfied with myself about. And so I'm happy that you guys decided to talk about this, you and John. So first of all, what's the prayer practice that you're doing, and when did you start it?
Well, I started a couple of years ago. I don't know exactly when, but it has been a number of years now. And I will say there are days where, for whatever reason, I don't pray in this way. And most days, even if I do pray in this way, I also have some time of prayer that's a little more free form. But this is called the prayer of examen, and it's an ancient prayer practice that really is, it sounds so simple, it almost is hard for me to believe that it's been as important and transformative in my life as it has been. But it's really just a way of trying to, it's kind of a contemplative practice, like coming into a quiet space before God with a little bit of silence at the beginning just to let those swirling thoughts calm. And then the idea is to walk through the previous day or whatever period of time you're hoping to pray about with paying attention to the moments that felt really connected to who God is, and the moments that felt really disconnected from God's presence. And to start saying, what were those moments, and what was to bring those moments before God in prayer. So when I snapped at my daughter yesterday, what was really going on in me? Is there something that the Lord wants to reveal that was actually happening in my spirit that could teach me and gently guide me into a new way of being? Or, oh my gosh, noticing this moment of delight or peace or joy that happened when I was eating dinner with my family or going for a run or, sitting in a church service, whatever it was. There's really just a sense of paying attention by walking through the day and asking for the Spirit's guidance in terms of those moments of connection and disconnection. And then at the end of that, having some silence to basically ask God, is there any way in which I am being called to respond to the work that you're doing, to the emotions that you're helping me pay attention to? And over time, what that has done for me is just help me throughout all my days to pay more attention to where I am with God throughout my days, and to start to notice the feelings, the thoughts, the patterns that can go into either that place of connection or disconnection.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love this. So you called it Ex-Amen, yes?
Yes, it's and it's an Ignatian practice. So St. Ignatius has those exercises from, 400 or 500 years ago. And that's where the practice developed. A lot of people have gotten kind of variations on it in terms of, here are some questions you can ask, or here are some ways to pay attention. And for me, that, again, changes from day to day. But the idea is really just to look back over a period of time. Typically for me, it's the previous day, and really be paying attention to where was I aware of God's presence, and where did it feel like I was disconnected from the Spirit of God, and what was going on as a result or in the midst of those times. And that's been really transformative.
So, Amy, contrast that practice to what you had been doing before. What do you feel like that has added for you?
A great question. I would say that I have been taught lots of ways to pray, and I think they're all good. I think prayer is ultimately a way for us to connect to God, and both in terms of expressing ourselves and hearing from God and being sent forth, right? So anything that enables us to do that is a positive thing. Certainly we've got the words of Jesus in the Lord's Prayer. We've got the Psalms as a guide to prayer. I, for a long time, have also used that acronym ACTS, which a lot of people have used, right, to know that there are different ways to pray. We can, worship God. We can confess. With our kids, we've talked about saying, wow, thanks, I'm sorry, and I need, so there are lots of different ways to pray, and I think those are all good. I was pretty scattered, however, in my prayer, and a lot of my prayer times felt like it was just a list of things I've done wrong and things I need from God. And there wasn't really a sense of intimacy and I guess trusting that God wanted to be responding and helping me to grow in the midst of all of those lists of prayers. And in some ways, what this has done is just made me more aware of the ways that God is present in those things that I need to confess, or the things that I want to pray about or need help with, to be able to say, oh, I do experience your presence more and more when these things that used to really irritate me, or where I would get really despondent, I am now more aware of God's presence in those moments. Or in the flip side of that, I think there are ways in which I've become more grateful, more aware of the love and peace and joy that is available to me when I am paying attention to who God is. So it's more, this practice has in some ways enlivened the rest of my prayer life, and has also made me more attentive all day long. Like, I still don't think I totally understand what it means when Paul says that we should pray continually, but this has gotten me one step closer to that in terms of that sense of being aware throughout the day of God's presence.
Well, that's so good. So in describing this, Amy Julia, it kind of, feels as though first thing in the morning, you're sort of like piloting a boat, and the rudder is the daily connection. You're moving forward, and so I'm kind of curious. Over this years or several years you've been doing this, have you seen a pattern where you fall into the same potholes or create the same chaos or trouble in your life? And then is there a routine that you find yourself in some ways seeing God helping to rescue you from that?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I've already mentioned it, the irritation with my kids. So that is one of those areas where I really have started to ask that question of why are there days where I will just seem to snap really quickly? And I'm more aware because of this practice of the feeling that I have inside before that happens. So sometimes I can even stop it before I get there. Other times, like the other day, I was really stressed out about finding a parking spot because it was 4th of July and there were so many parking spots and I didn't know where I should be going. And merrily, my youngest daughter starts asking me all these questions about what's going to happen at the concert that we were going to for the 4th of July. And I could feel myself about to snap at her. And instead I said, merrily, I'm really stressed out right now about finding a parking spot, so I can't answer your questions without sounding irritated. I just need you to wait. And she was like, okay, that's fine. So it's just brought an awareness to be able to essentially bring a spirit of like patience and peace and kindness to myself and to her in that moment. And that seems like a really little example, but it's also in those little moments that relationships get either kind of torn apart in little pieces or stitched back together with little stitches. And that's what it's felt like. I mean, that's not the easiest because it's such an immediate, like recent example that comes to mind. But the other thing I think I can get, I can be really critical of myself. And so I think it's been helping me, this practice has helped me to be identifying this voice that is not the voice of love that is within me. And so I get very anxious and despondent when I let that voice have power over me, and recognizing that is not from Jesus at all. And this practice has helped me to recognize that so that I can more quickly say, I am telling myself a lie right now, and I need to replace that with the truth about how God sees me. So those are a couple examples of things that have changed for me.
That's excellent. We're speaking with Amy Julia Becker. She is the author of several books. Her latest is called To Be Made Well, An Invitation to Wholeness, Healing, and Hope. She also hosts the Love is Stronger Than Fear podcast. So, Amy Julia, this examen, this Ignatian practice that you've discovered, how did you go about that? I mean, before you started this, did you read into this practice? Did someone guide you along the prayer practice? Tell us that journey.
Yeah, so I think I first heard about it through Ruth Haley Barton, who is another kind of, spiritual Christian author who has a podcast of her own, and she gives some guidance for it, although a number of different people over the years have mentioned it. And Rich Viotis is another person whose book, The Deeply Formed Life, is great, and he and his church have talked about some of those contemplative practices, and this being one of them. And thankfully, it's so simple. It's really not something you need like a book to learn. It's like you need a 5-minute introduction or a 1-page guide, and there are lots of those online that are available. It's EXAMEN, Ignatian Examen, just to really ask that question of what were moments of what they call actually consolation and desolation, although those words, consolation and desolation, can be replaced by like connection, disconnection, love, fear. You can kind of think about them in different ways, and then really asking God to be present in drawing your attention to the things you need to pay attention to, and then asking how to respond in God's presence with those emotions and thoughts and actions, the things that we've done that might need to be confessed. An apology might need to be, we might need to ask for forgiveness, and we also might need to just give thanks or do something to express our gratitude as a result of looking back over the day that has come before.
Very good.
That's really good. I want to thank you for sharing that. I think that, a lot of these contemplative practices, people say, oh, that's just kind of like a personal thing. I don't really want to talk about it. And I think some people who hear it think, well, that's for different kinds of people. Maybe that's like, kind of a more Eastern approach to Christianity or, whatever it is. I've heard all those criticisms. But the way you're talking about it, it's just a straightforward way of paying more attention.
Very good.
It's been a real gift to me, and I am definitely one of those people who I struggle to calm my body and brain for even just a few minutes without a gazillion thoughts and all my to-do lists, rushing in. So I actually do find that having my journal with me when I'm doing this is helpful because it almost like helps me to stay focused.
So it can you can kind of corral yourself.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit, anyway.
That's good.
That's good. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, Amy Julia, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you. This has been an encouragement for us today. Examen, E-X-A-M-E-N, the Ignatian practice of prayer. Amy Julia Becker, check her out. She's active on social media, always has good insight. Amy Julia Becker.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-940-6161. That's 1-800-940-6161. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-940-6161. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
I love seeing the transformation of a smile.
There's a reason patients love Dr. Megan Stock, voted Pittsburgh Trib's best of the best dentist in Northern Allegheny County for the second year in a row.
You don't have to do full mouth rehabilitation to really transform a patient's life. For a patient to be able to smile confidently and be happy with their own smile.
Exceptional dentistry meets compassionate care. Stock Family Dentistry, Perry Highway in Wexford, at stockfamilydentistry.com.
What is a neighbor? This is Greg Trzynski at the Original Mattress Factory. We believe a neighbor is more than just someone who lives nearby. A good neighbor treats you with honesty and respect and works with you to build a better community. At OMF, you can expect to be treated like a neighbor. We offer our locally made, hand-built mattresses and box springs at a factory direct value because we know you deserve the best. Visit an OMF location today to experience the Original Mattress Factory difference for yourself.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
Listen on your smart speaker at wordfm.com, the Word FM app, iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. In your car or at home, too, at 101.5 WORD-FM, Pittsburgh.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 63. It'll be pleasant tomorrow with sunshine and a few clouds. Tomorrow's high 82. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies with a low of 59. Friday will be mostly sunny. We'll reach a high Friday of 83. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
People are amazing. Truly they are. I saw a piece in the city paper about a man named Julian Sanchez. He says he wants us to know that just about anything is possible. Julian Sanchez is a Spanish-born German athlete and adventurer, and he was in Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago after cycling from Florida over the course of 12 days here to the city of Pittsburgh. But before arriving in Fort Lauderdale, he had spent 131 days at sea alone in a small rowboat. He's 26 years old, a language translator. He said, I've spent a lot of time traveling. His family is Spanish. He grew up in Cologne, Germany. He visited the United States, Australia, Canada, and other countries prior to making his journey. And so he saved up and was physically preparing for this journey. The journey began in Paris, where he circled his bicycle along the Arc de Triomphe. And then that leg of the journey to go from Paris to Portugal was 28 days of sleeping in tents and campsites. And then after a small break, he set out across the ocean alone, one of the most difficult things he's ever done. Of course, you wouldn't imagine that it wouldn't be.
In a rowboat?
Yes.
He went across, what?
He rowed across the ocean from Portugal to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in this rowboat.
Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. And then from Fort Lauderdale, he...
Okay, no, wait. This is a rowboat.
Yes.
This is not a large boat, but it's also not like a dinghy.
No, it's a larger rowboat.
I mean, it's a larger boat that you row.
But look at it.
I wouldn't call it a rowboat. I mean, it has like...
He's rowing.
Yeah, but it's like a cab. There's a cabin in it where you can sleep.
I'm not sure if there's a cabin.
Oh, there's
there.
a cabin. That's what the door is.
But look at that. I mean, it's smaller than the size of this studio, would you think?
Oh,
or maybe the size of the studio.
Yeah, it's probably about the size of our studio.
But it is a rowboat.
Yep.
There are.
He is rowing this boat. There is no motor on it that I can see.
No, there's no motor. It's just him and row.
But there is a cabin for him to sleep inside.
Right.
And it's outrageous. It actually looks like it'd be harder to row than a dinghy.
Because it's so big.
Uh-huh.
So they say, why did you choose Pittsburgh?
Why did you do this? Why did you do this?
He said since he was 10 years old, he's had a special affection for Pittsburgh. He says he's a big hockey and American football fan.
All right.
And I've always had this connection to the city. He said when I was 5 years old, the cities of Paris and Pittsburgh were both advocating for better climate practices. It was a perfect fit. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, he says, is a really special place. It has made the transition from being a really polluted city to being one of the leaders in sustainability. So Pittsburgh kind of feels like a special home. He said the most difficult challenge was that on day 30, his boat sprung a leak. And so for the next 100 days, there was water in his cabin every day.
Right, which is where he was sleeping.
It was leaking at a constant rate.
Oh,
and so
terrible.
to be able to continue the journey with that in the back of my mind,
horrible.
I'm taking water on. He said, I also had a massive whale that started to play with the boat. The boat got lifted up feet out of the air, and he said, I was amazed to see such a massive creature, but I thought if this whale wants, it could end my journey right here.
And my life right here.
He said his most favorite part of the trip was that he was someplace called the Bahama Bank, very shallow, has lots of rocks, which is very difficult for him to navigate with his oars. He said, I didn't have a choice. I didn't sleep for 48 hours as I navigated through this Bahama Bank. The bank is incredibly beautiful. 40 sharks at one time he saw, stingrays, turtles. But after being on the ocean for 128 days, the bank was a road to paradise. So he said, what's next? He's going to bike to Canada, and then from Canada to Alaska. I mean, that's a trip. Can you believe that people do that?
This is an outrageous story.
Julian Sanchez. Saving his money, and then traveling from Paris to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, then bicycling from Fort Lauderdale, Florida to Pittsburgh, and then from Pittsburgh to Canada to Alaska. Pretty amazing.
Home for right now, he says, is kind of the cabin of my boat or my tent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still on the move.
Yep. Probably in pretty good shape.
Get out of here.
Yep. Anyway.
What's he doing for a living?
He didn't. Well, they said he saved all of his money for years to do this. So he's doing for a living right now is traveling. right? I would imagine you'd think that someone would be interested in saying, let's document this.
Right.
Let's put this out there. Because this is an extreme sport is what he's doing. An extreme lifestyle.
Wow.
That's
okay.
cool.
Great story.
Anyway, we have not done this for a long time.
A really long time.
Where we just open up the phone lines.
Mm-hmm.
Now, people will email us. They'll Facebook Messenger us. Oftentimes
They'll DM us on Twitter.
Oftentimes it's very fun. Sometimes it's very cranky. Other times it's off run right mean. But, it takes all kinds, right? And we cover a lot of different subjects. And, of course, because we are believers, people, you've not followed this or you've not done this or, let me talk about this or experience this because of that. Anyway, we'll open up the phone lines. If you'd like to say something to us, let us know about something.
Ask us a question.
Talk to us in any form, way, or shape. 800-320-8255. You got a bone to pick with us, or
now's your moment.
Yeah, or you want to just tell us something good, something that's happening in your life right now that we should, all share in and have a moment of joy. 800-320-8255. 800-320-8255. If you've got something you want to chime in on, well, feel free. We'll open up the phones. And if you're there, that's fine. If not, we'll just continue on with what we're going to talk about. But we'd like to hear from you if you're so inclined. 800-320-8255 and share your 2 cents or a nickel. I guess in these inflationary times, a buck or two.
I'll take it.
All right. Be right back. Stick around. Call us 800-320-8255.
101.5 WORD.
Next time on PowerPoint with Jack Graham.
We've got all kinds of rage today going on. And sometimes when we face this kind of anger, we want to go all Old Testament on them. Jesus said, you've heard it that way, but I say to you, turn the other cheek to the one who strikes you.
Tune in next time for PowerPoint with Jack Graham.
PowerPoint tonight at 9:30 on 101.5 WORD.
You scream. We all scream for ice cream. That's exactly what's happening every day at the Spring House in 84. We're literally up to our elbows in ice cream. But who could resist a cotton candy ice cream cone? Or how about cookie dough? Or Heath Crunch? Or even raspberry chocolate yogurt? You've just got to try them all. If not a cone, then how about a toasted almond fudge ball? Creamy vanilla ice cream rolled in toasted chopped almonds and topped with gooey hot fudge and real whipped cream. Or better yet, a strawberry ice cream shortcake made with real old-fashioned shortcakes smothered with sliced strawberries and again, real whipped cream. Jump in the car now, head to 84 in the Spring House, where we want you to scream for ice cream.
Studies show decades of increased taxpayer spending per student has failed to improve educational performance. Can't we do better? Pittsburgh's Christian schools say we can. Right now, local Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Cornerstone Prep in West Mifflin. If you're looking for a safe environment for kids to learn where character matters and academic excellence is served by highly qualified teachers, consider Christian education. Visit wordfm.com/tuitions.
Ready to unite with believers across the country to bring hope and meals to hungry families? Thursday, August 11th, 7 p.m. Eastern, be a part of Food for the Poor's free virtual We Are One national event, featuring the music of 5-time GMA Dove Award winner Natalie Grant. This will be an evening filled with hope, unity, inspiration, and celebration as we unite to release 10 million meals. Register for this free live stream today by texting We Are One to 51555. That's We Are and the number 1 to 51555.
Research shows listeners don't like it when ads interrupt their music. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance, we made this ad optional. If you want to skip this ad, remove your left earphone. Liberty Mutual customizes home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
If you're missing this informative ad, you must love wasting your cash.
It's the easy and smart way to save.
Now it's all been said, so if that earphone was out, put it back in your head.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
All right, we're stepping out on the phones.
Ask us anything.
Yep. 800-320-8255. Like we said, we get emails, texts, Facebook messages, and whatnot. So let's go to the phones and see what people have to say. If you want to chime in, good, bad, or otherwise, it's us just kind of, saying, okay, what do you got? Let's go to the phones and speak with Tracy. Hey, Trace, thanks for giving us a call. What's on your mind?
Hey, John.
Hey.
Well, I just wanted to call and tell you guys that I love you. I listen to you guys driving home from work every day, and I enjoy it so much.
Thank you,
thanks.
Tracy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
God bless you.
Hey, no problem.
Why do you like it?
Well, because it's uplifting. You guys are Christians. I get a good word. It's not, for the most part, most days aren't drama and mayhem, depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're family because I've done it so long, and I'm in the medical field, so I have to deal with patients all day, and this is just a part of my day that I enjoy riding home with you guys.
Fabulous.
Terrific. Well,
That's
we're so
great.
happy to hear it, Tracy. Thanks for coming along.
Yeah, Trace, thanks a lot. I mean, that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Look, we know that, we've designed it this way, that we know that the world, the world.
It's very contentious.
It is.
It's divisive, and it's high drama.
So we try to be, generally, we try to be lighter because we know that people are carrying a heck of a lot. At the same time, we don't want to be, Pollyannish. And,
No, and sometimes and some days you can't avoid a news story, and you have to, approach it as any real person would. But anyway, Tracy, we appreciate that because we are trying to be a bit of an oasis.
We are, yeah. 800-320-8255. You got a question, a comment, anything you want to chime in on today? We're doing some open phones here for a while. So let's go back to the phones and speak with Rose. Hey, Rose, how you doing?
Hi, how are y'all today?
Hi, Rose.
I'd just like to say the Sunday Praise in the Park was very, very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Talk.
I was thankful to have my cold water ice bottle.
Oh my gosh.
Because it was truly hot, but it was beautiful. I would like to see, it would be amazing to see it filled up like it is if it was a Steeler game,
Yeah. Us too.
I do.
Yeah, no. Rose, let me interrupt you for just a minute. For people who are listening who don't know what Rose is talking about, last Sunday at 2 o'clock at Heinz Field, we did the Pittsburgh Praise event, which was sponsored by the Pittsburgh Leadership Foundation and the Southeast Asia Prayer Center. And John and I were some of the presenters there, and there were about 15,000 people in the stands, Rose being one of them. And so now that I've explained it, Rose, I loved the day as well.
Me too.
What made you, would you go to it again?
Yes, I would. Yes, I truly would. My bishop was there. Like I said, I go to church up in Greensburg.
Okay.
And just to see, the people of all walks of life just out there praising God.
I loved it.
I felt the spirit. I surely did. And it was awesome.
Great.
I agree.
Well, Rose, thanks for calling in about that. Yeah. We had a really great day.
Yeah, fire away.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
And the question is political now.
Okay.
And our President Trump, ex-President Trump, do you think he should be convicted? If so, why? And if not, why?
Rose.
What?
Jeez, Rose. You started off all benign with the Pittsburgh Praise event.
I mean, and here we are trying to say, here's the deal, Rose. You know what? The problem is, because we're on Christian Talk. I mean, we said anything. When we talk about politics, 50% of the audience goes, I'll never listen to you again.
Right.
Right.
For real?
And that's it's true. That's true. Heck yeah. Because we're trying not to be Republicans. We're trying not to be Democrats. We're trying to be believers in Jesus. And so people get angry even if we say the name Joe Biden or we say the name Donald Trump.
Yeah,
people get angry. And that's just how it is.
Okay, but we have to answer Rose. Okay, I don't know if I can Rose. I don't know if I can answer that.
I mean, it's a
I don't know
fair
if I can answer
question.
it, but I've tried to keep up with the January 6th hearings, and I got to be honest. I think it's a persuasive case. Don't you think it's a persuasive case, John?
I do.
Yeah.
But I do not believe that they'll file criminal charges.
No, I don't think they will either. But maybe the point, at least for me,
accountability.
Rose, yes, that's what the point.
Accountability.
That's what the point to me of the hearing is. It's not even whether criminal charges are going to be brought. It's that are we just going to let this go and act like January 6th was nothing?
We should talk about it, right?
I think we should talk about
everyone
it.
should talk about it. But I mean,
we should talk about it.
What do you think, Rose?
I have my personal opinion, and I'm gonna keep that. But at the same time, I just hope something be done about it because it's a whole lot to absorb, and I really want to. I'm really telling myself to write this book through the eyes of the TV. That's going to be the title.
Oh, through the eyes of the TV.
Gonna be, yes.
All right.
Yes.
I like it, Rose.
But I love y'all. Y'all have a blessed one.
You too,
Thanks, honey.
Rose.
You too. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Really appreciate the phone call.
All right, line 3. We got Linda there. Thank you, Rose, for getting us in hot water.
Very nice. Line 3. Hey, Lynn. How you doing, Linda?
Hi. First, I want to say that I do enjoy your show, and I do listen to it. I think Itchins have a lot of diversity.
Thank you.
And I think that's important, and it's very informative. However, I know you do the commercial, Windows R Us, and I wondered if either one of you had ever used them.
Oh, that's a good question. We don't advertise for Windows or Us.
No, we advertise for somebody else.
We're advertising for roofing right now. But John Steigerwald advertises for Windows or Us.
Yeah. So I got to be honest, we have not used them.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Are you in the market for Windows?
I'm in the market for windows and siding, and I just wondered, who is good.
Sorry, Lynn.
Yeah.
Can't come through for you on that.
Yeah, we wish we could say, with absolute certainty, these are the people. And that's the interesting thing is, you hear something on Christian radio and you think, they're believers as well, but that may or may not be true.
Yeah.
Right.
We just think that they're doing a good job at whatever they're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a quandary, but yeah, we have to admit we have not used Windows R Us.
Okay. Thanks, though, Linda.
Okay, thank you.
Our pleasure. Thanks for listening. 800-320-8255. 800-320-8255. We're just opening up the phones, and you got a question or a comment or whatever it is, you got a bone to pick with us, we'd be happy to talk to you.
Okay,
all right?
line 1.
Okay, let's go back.
Miriam.
Hi, Miriam. How you doing?
Hi, I have loved you two both for so many years.
Oh.
I don't know what I would do without you.
Miriam, you sweet thing.
There's 2 things, and I'll try to make it really quick because it's radio. The first one is I would like to remind you of a story you did, not a story, a back and forth that you two did. It made me laugh my head off the whole way home about John criticizing Kathy about salad, and that salad was her favorite meal. Because I thought nobody else in the world could relate to that except for me. And it was so funny. I mean, he just kept saying, "You're kidding me, you're kidding me." And you just went back and do you remember
Yes,
that?
now that was before COVID.
It was a while ago.
I mean, it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. We have had a lot of comments about that segment, and because of course John was wrong and was mocking me unnecessarily.
Come on now.
Of course, that's what it was.
Salad.
Okay,
Salad. It's your favorite. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
It was so hysterical. I could barely drive. I almost had to pull over.
Okay, so Miriam, you like salad?
Yes,
of course you do.
It's my favorite meal.
Me too.
I mean, I like salad.
Not a day goes by where I don't have a salad, and I love it. Last night it was 11:30. I was watching Elementary, eating a salad.
Oh my gosh! Okay.
Yes, good. So my other thing is, this one I'm mad at you both for.
Okay.
You said something about I would never want to own a boat. Well,
right.
Owning a boat is the best in the land. So you have to get a boat.
Okay, so listen.
Listen, I'd love to have a boat,
Listen,
but
the only reason I said that is because I had a boat up until a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I grew up boating, and so I absolutely love boating, but the boat got old, and I didn't know. Anyway, it was one of those days that they say, like the day you get rid of your boat is the second happiest day.
Yeah. Right. Okay, I'll forgive you on that one.
Thank you,
Very
Miriam.
nice. So wait, so where's your boat?
Have a lovely day.
All right, where's your boat, Miriam?
It's at Fox Chapel Marine on the Allegheny.
Fabulous.
I had a good friend that moored there also. I've spent a lot of time there.
Very nice. Okay, we apologize to all the boat owners. We need to step away. It's open phone lines here, 800-320-8255. You got a question, a comment, a bone to pick or whatnot, we're here. So stick around with us.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-333-1750. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-333-1750. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-333-1750. 800-333-1750.
The word around town is that Pittsburgh homeowners are choosing doing it right when it comes to their roofing, siding, and remodeling projects.
That's because since 1984, Doing It Right roofing, siding, remodeling continues to set the bar through clear communication and an installation that's second to none.
Doing It Right employs only the most experienced professionals to install and oversee your project.
They'll stop at nothing to ensure your satisfaction, doing business honestly, taking no money down and no payment until the job is complete.
Doing It Right will ensure all work is installed to the industry's highest standards, then back it all up with their lifetime workmanship warranty.
As a prestigious multi-award-winning Owens Corning Platinum contractor, as well as a VSI certified installation contractor, you can't go wrong with Doing It Right.
Mention John and Kathy for a discount off your estimate.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF for a free project evaluation or visit roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
The war in Ukraine is impacting the world in many ways, but especially in Lebanon, a country that once depended on Ukraine for most of its grain supply. Now, food shortages and a collapsing economy have left nearly 80% of everyone living there in desperate need of aid. Again this year, we are partnering with Heart for Lebanon, a ministry that not only meets physical needs, but shares the gospel with these hurting people. And right now, more people are turning to Christ than at any time in our generation. You can help make that happen. A single investment of $116 helps a child and their family with food for 4 months and provides the hope of the gospel of Jesus Christ. But hundreds are on a waiting list and need our help, so please be as generous as you can. Call 888-247-5499. That's 888-247-5499. Or click the Heart for Lebanon banner at wordfm.com. 888-247-5499. Or online at wordfm.com.
Oh, geez, we're doing open phones, and now we're running out of time.
Yeah.
So we're going to do this at 5:30 as well.
Yeah, so we'll
right?
open up the phone lines at 5:32 for those of you that didn't get a chance to come through. And, of course, we want to hear from more of you.
Okay.
Ask us anything.
But we can squeeze in one more phone call.
That's right.
Let's go back to the phones. Hey, Diana, how you doing?
Hey, John, Kathy.
Yeah.
I just want to say what a blessing you are to me and have been for years.
Diana,
in all
you're
Pittsburgh.
sweet. Thank you.
And Kath, I don't know if you remember, but I was the one that sent in the cloth napkins with John back in November.
Listen, I have them in my I have them out on the counter in my new kitchen.
Very nice.
I need to post a picture of that, Diana. I thought it was so sweet of you to send that.
Well, you might not think this is so sweet because this is why I'm calling.
Oh, no.
When you always pick on John about you can't root for Pitt and Penn State.
Yes.
I had 2 girls in college, one at Pitt and one at Penn State. So you can root for
Diana.
both teams.
Diana,
You
don't
can.
take
Kath.
his,
Thank
don't
you, Diana.
Don't take his side.
Thank you for this phone call.
Listen,
Although if they're playing each other, I'm going to lean towards Pitt.
Of course
you
Oh,
do. The
oh.
lady that called about Windows R Us, I just got Windows from them a couple months ago. Highly recommend them, and I understand that their owners are Christian also.
Fabulous.
Boy, Diana's just
She's
brought
got
all
a lot
sorts of
going on.
material today, didn't
Napkins,
she?
Pitt, Penn State, and Windows R Us. Fabulous.
Good
Okay.
grief, Diana.
Thanks, Diana.
Thank
Hope
you
you're
so
well.
much.
I am. Thank you. I love you guys.
Love you too. Fabulous. You're excellent. Excellent.
Diana
indeed.
sent me a gift. That was so sweet.
Mm-hmm. I mean, gifts. Gifts are welcome. How about our friend Dennis?
We got to talk
We
about
have to say Dennis.
Yeah, we have to talk about Dennis Sullivan. Dennis is a longtime listener to our show here, and we've heard from a lot of regular listeners over the years we've done the show, but
Dennis.
no one has been as faithful in communicating with us as Dennis Sullivan. And not only was he faithful in communicating with us, but he, at Christmas time...
Oh, my goodness.
Dennis gave us gifts.
He would listen to the show and then send us gifts based upon what we were talking
thoughtful, the most individual gifts every year. I mean, they would bring me to tears. They were so beautiful.
But then Dennis, we lost conversation with Dennis. He just disappeared. I would email him. I didn't hear back. Finally, like 6 weeks ago, I thought, I got to search for Dennis. Anyway, online we found Dennis's obituary, which just crushed us.
He died as a young man and full of life.
Yeah, and now Dennis is gone, and we didn't even know Dennis is gone. And so I reached out and called some numbers and haven't heard back from anybody. But
Dennis, we love you so much.
Dennis Sullivan, you good and godly man. What a blessing to us you've been over these years.
Alexa to play the word Pittsburgh to hear us there. We're on your Google speaker too, plus iHeart, TuneIn, and on Odyssey. 101.5 WORD FM, Pittsburgh. Rick.
With SRN News, I'm Jason Walker. West Virginia Democrat Senator Joe Manchin says inflation presents a clear and present danger to the United States economy. Bob Agnew has more.
Manchin's warning comes after the latest inflation report shows prices up 9.1% over the past year. The bad news also presents a clear and present danger to Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's hopes of winning Manchin's support for another costly reconciliation bill, one Democrats had hoped to use to spend hundreds of billions of dollars on new government programs, something conservatives say would almost certainly cause even more inflation. Bob Agnew reporting.
President Biden in Israel now. It's his first Middle East visit as the president. It's a 4-day trip, and he's holding talks with Israeli officials and later Palestinian and Saudi Arabian leaders as well. This is SRN News.
Reverse mortgages. Perceptually, those words were kind of bad words for a while. And still today, in many cases, it's not the perfect fit. But without a doubt, today's reverse mortgage program, now insured by the federal government, is night and day different from that of old. If you or someone you love is over the age of 62 and can't afford to retire, today's reverse mortgage program can be life-changing. This new option does not require you to give up ownership of your home, it will not leave your heirs with debt, and it can provide you with lifetime monthly payments from the value of your home, or even a cash-out option. At United Faith Mortgage, our commitment is to clearly lay out all the details for you or your parents' specific case, and then only take on cases where it's clearly obvious to everyone involved that this is a no-lose situation. If you're curious what it would look like for you or someone you love, we are United Faith Mortgage.
Call for free information on reverse loans. United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. Now, Mike didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Now Mike has done it again by introducing his My Slippers. For a limited time, you'll save $90 on a pair of My Slippers. And now this blowout sale of the year will not last, so order now. Mike has taken over 2 years to develop these slippers. My Slippers are designed to wear indoors and out all day long, so they're super comfy. Made with MyPillow foam and impact gel to help prevent fatigue for your feet. Made also with quality leather suede. These are MyPillow slippers at their best. Call 1-800-391-0954. Use the promo code WORD or go to MyPillow.com. Click on the radio listener square. Use promo code WORD. Now, the offer is not going to last long, so order now with promo code WORD at MyPillow.com. 1-800-391-0954. Use
Use the promo code WORD.
If you're struggling with alcohol or drugs, Recovery Centers of America can help you today. Our treatment advisors answer the phone 24/7, including weekends and holidays, so you can begin your recovery today. Call 1-888-RECOVERY now. Our fully accredited world-class treatment centers are located near you, so you can begin your recovery close to home. While in our care, you will be treated with compassion, dignity, and respect by our dedicated team of professionals. You will also benefit from specialized programs, 24-hour medical care, master's level clinicians, and the comfort of our outstanding facilities. And because we know that addiction impacts families as well, we offer support groups, family therapy, and webinars. Every day, thousands of patients get treated at Recovery Centers of America and go on to live happy and meaningful lives. Call 1-888-RECOVERY now. We answer the phone and admit patients 24/7, including on weekends and holidays. That number again is 1-888-RECOVERY.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 63. It'll be pleasant tomorrow with sunshine and a few clouds. Tomorrow's high 82. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies with a low of 59. Friday will be mostly sunny. We'll reach a high Friday of 83. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Welcome to another edition of The Ride Home with John and Kathy, live from the Salem-Pittsburgh studios. And now, here are your hosts, John Hall and Kathy Emmons.
Hey, good afternoon. Greetings to you. Thanks for coming along today. It's the Wednesday edition of The Ride Home.
Yes, it is.
Okay, we've already covered the Amazon Prime brouhaha. I guess it wasn't a brouhaha. I about razor blades and toothbrush.
I mean, that's like the opposite of brouhaha. It's like the most boring set of... For goodness sake, if you're going to buy something...
That's what I bought. It was on sale.
Yeah.
Dude, who doesn't love a sale? I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't get Band-Aids to round it out.
If there was salad on sale, would you not have jumped in? Seriously.
Good night. I'm stopping on Moyham to get salad.
Are you?
Yeah.
Over here at the Giant Eagle?
No. No.
No. Okay.
I'm going to go to Sam's tonight.
All right, fine. Sam's. You can go to Sam's just for salad. What are you buying, a boatload of salad?
They have a particular kind of salad I like.
Okay. Does it come with what? Kale salad?
Yeah, I like kale salad.
Okay. I don't like kale salad.
Really?
It's too pointy. There's too many points on kale.
You know you're supposed to chew it.
Yeah, it's kind of like those apple things that you two chew. You and Christy chew and chew some more. And let's chew some more. And how about let's add some Brussels sprouts and then chew some more.
Yeah, that's good. That's fine. That's pretty.
Worst.
What you've just said is the story of my dining experience.
My jaw gets sore just thinking about it. So my toothbrushes and razor blades on Prime, that's a win. Really it is. Okay, the Emmys were announced yesterday, of course. We talked about that. Yeah. And we saw that Christy and Kath love, and I've only seen like 1.5 episodes, which is pretty much my track record of streaming.
Right, exactly.
I just watch something and then I go, okay, that's fine, and then I just have to go to bed. So I do.
John is the shortest attention span when it comes to TV.
It's late at night. Generally, by the time I sit down, it's like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
At 10:30, like a little switch goes off, and it's like, I'm going to bed, and that's it. And I just get up and unapologetically.
How could you leave in the middle of Christy, would you ever go to bed in the middle of an episode? No.
Oh, forget it. I do. No, here's the good thing.
I would never, in my life, I've never done that.
Okay, so the other night, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Monday, is it Monday? Yeah. Monday night, we were watching The Old Man.
Jeff Bridges and
John Lithgow. And so literally 40 minutes into it, and half an hour into it, I feel myself losing power. And so I hang in there for 10 minutes at half power, and then finally I go to my wife, I put it on pause, I gotta go to bed. She's like, okay. So then she marks the time where I get up to leave, and then yesterday when I came home from work, I was still, it was like, 7 o'clock.
Right.
I was refreshed and felt good. She was like, you're gonna continue on. So then I watched like the remaining 21 minutes, that was the marker.
Okay.
And felt good about it.
Okay, good. I'm proud of you for going back to it.
And then we talked about it, which is awfully confusing. There's a lot going on there.
It's a really interesting show.
Very, very confusing show. Anyway, Steve Martin and Martin Short, they're competing.
In Only Murders in the Building is the show that they're both nominated for this year. Christy
Selena
and I
Gomez.
watched it. John lost.
I lost it. 1.5 episodes. I had to go to bed.
John lost interest.
That's it.
It was one of my favorite shows of last year.
I'll come back again because I love them both.
I wouldn't say it's a show for kids. In fact, I definitely would not say it's a show for kids, especially the second season for sure isn't a show for kids. But for people who are interested in, like, I would call it dark comedy. And are fascinated by these two individuals, and the addition of Selena Gomez, it's just, you wouldn't think it works. It does.
Cool. Okay, so there's an article in today's New York Times about, it's sort of basically a Q&A with Steve Martin and Martin Short. Here's the weird thing. Steve Martin won an Emmy with the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour in 1968. That's 53 years ago he won an Emmy. Martin Short has won 2 Emmys with Second City, which is SCTV, fabulously funny show. If you don't know that show, you should go look at that. And just watch it on YouTube, I believe, right?
Sure, yeah. Both of them expressed their sadness that they were both nominated for Best Actor in a Comedy roles, but Selena Gomez was not nominated.
But as executive producer.
But she was nominated as executive producer.
Right.
But it's awkward when you have a 3-person team and 2 out of the 3 people or 1 out of the 3. But that's just what it is in every show.
Right,
But it's just awkward. Anyway, it's these 2 guys have been so solid in this craft for such a long time.
53 years.
I mean, such a long time.
Yeah, and so here it is. The kudos are coming their way. But I always love it whenever, you see an article and 2 people who really like each other are doing a Q&A back and forth, which is, exactly what this is.
Yeah.
They're just kind of goofing around on each other.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Steve Martin and Martin Short, you should definitely look this up in today's New York Times. They asked Steve Martin, how many Emmys have you won? And he said, well, I want to say 5. But I actually only have 1. He said, if I were to win, though, I'd be on a roll because it would be 53 years since my last win. So he won in 69 and hasn't won anything since.
Holy smokes. I mean, can you believe that? That's a heck of a long way. Martin Short, of course, as I said, from SCTV, that's a long time as well. He said it's just a big honor. But he says that Martin Short says to Steve Martin, you could be in your own category, which is too pale to actually light. And that's true. Steve Martin is the whitest white man ever.
He really is.
I bet you Steve Martin went gray when he was like 30.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, right.
When he was a wild and crazy guy, remember that? He used to fill stadiums of people doing that crazy stand-up act. And then he walked away from it all and had to reinvent himself in some way through Hollywood. I mean, he was a cultural phenomenon when he was the wild and crazy guy, was he not? And that was like late 70s.
That was before,
mid to late
I don't
70s.
even know that.
Don't you?
I never knew any of that.
It was like basic he would stand up on stage with an arrow through his head, or he would make balloon animals, and people thought it was hysterical, and of course it was just really simple basic comedy, but there was something about him that was so appealing. There still is something about him that's so appealing.
Are you kidding?
And of course a major career in Hollywood.
One of the things that Jerry Seinfeld said, both John and I love Jerry, is that comedians can become great actors.
Yes.
But great actors can never become comedians.
No, there's something about it.
And Steve Martin is a great actor.
He is. I mean, you look at his, we were earlier today, Kath and I were talking about Mickey Rourke, and when you start talking about somebody, the great thing of talking about somebody today is you go, and literally in 2 seconds, you pull up their filmography.
Right.
And so Mickey Rourke's filmography is very different than Steve Martin's filmography. But I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
It really
the work
does.
That he's done.
He has done so many excellent movies.
Favorite film?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
And Cheaper by the Dozen.
How about Roxanne?
Roxanne was wonderful.
Excellent film. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just a gigantic career.
Cheaper by the Dozen was such a fun movie for parents to watch with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
He's so funny. It's really touching.
Yep.
I mean, he's just, he does that thing so well. But this I love because it's kind of campy, this Only Murders in the Building. It's also kind of chic. Like the production values are very high. The sets are very beautiful. So it's like, it kind of has a highbrow element to it and a little bit of like National Lampoon in it. You know, it's like the two things coming together. It's I think it's a extremely clever show.
All right, maybe I'll commit to like early evening naps so I can stay
It's
up later.
so
and
great.
watch it.
Christy, have you finished? Or no, it's coming out each Thursday.
Each Tuesday. And I did watch last night's.
You did?
Yeah. It's all right.
Okay.
Just all right. See, now there it is. There it is.
No. It's because it has to keep building through the rest of the
Right.
Is this season 2 or season
Yeah.
1?
2.
Season 2. So you guys.
Season 1 is
How
so
do you do
great.
this? I mean, you guys are like in season 9 of Stranger Things.
No.
Who's got the time to do all this stuff?
Well,
I appreciate your commitment to it, but man, oh man.
Christy and I are committed to a story. When it starts, we want to see how it ends up.
That's right.
But here's the problem. I'll just forget it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I
And
go,
that's
oh,
sad.
what was that all about? I forget. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did I watch that? I think I did.
Well, we're certainly not to that point, are we?
I don't know.
No.
It just kind of happens. That's what it is. Okay.
101.5 WORD.
Coming up on Love Worth Finding.
False doctrine is very, very dangerous. And I want to remind you that Satan is not against religion. He's in favor of it. He uses it. It is his chief tool.
Be sure to join us for more of Adrian Rogers' series Handbook for Survival this month on Love Worth Finding. Tonight at 11 on 101.5 WORD.
Imagine buying a pair of sneakers and getting a soothing, gentle foot massage like you'd get during a relaxing pedicure just by walking. You might think this sounds too good to be true, but we think it sounds like Skechers' new Massage Fit sneakers. Because Skechers, the comfort technology company, has designed a unique innovation that makes it feel like you're pampering your feet with a gentle massage in every step. The secret is Skechers' new patented wave technology on the sole that gently massages your feet while you're walking around. It feels amazing and is so gentle you can wear them all day just like your other favorite Skechers sneakers. And not only will you be getting the massage, you'll also be getting Skechers' other famous comfort features, like a special luxury insole that offers extra support for 24/7 comfort. Plus, they come in a variety of fashionable styles, including lace-up and slip-ons, and they're machine washable for easy care. Get a bonus massage in every step with Skechers' new Massage Fit. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Train up a child in the way they should go. Well, you know the rest. It's a calling you take very seriously as a Christian parent. And Trinity Christian School in Forest Hills seeks to honor your commitment by working together with parents to prepare students who are academically sound and spiritually ready to take their place in the world through a classical approach to education that helps build a faith from which they will never depart. Trinity Christian School, one of the top K-12 schools in Allegheny County, at trinitychristian.net.
Why do people suffer? Why do good people suffer?
It's part of being alive.
Why do Christians suffer? Why do children suffer? Why do animals suffer? I mean, these are questions that the human heart has struggled with since the very beginning of time. And I think one of the worst and most damaging things Christians can do when talking about these issues is act like there's an answer for that. Act like there's an easy response, because there isn't an easy response. And the Bible doesn't give us an easy response to that question. It does give us a response, but it's a hard one. And Vinitha Reisner knows all about that. Vinitha's a writer and a speaker who helps people find hope in suffering. Vinitha is a book author. She's a speaker. She and her story are the inspiration for the hit song Held by Natalie Grant. Her latest book you can check out is called Walking Through Fire, a memoir of loss and redemption. Vinitha, welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be back, Kathy.
Sure, and you've written a beautiful article in Desiring God. For those people who want to look it up, it's called When Suffering Doesn't Make Sense. Vinitha, you've done a lot of suffering yourself. Talk about, for people who have yet to meet you, what your story is. Talk about your childhood and where it's taken you from then to now.
Yeah. Well, I got polio when I was an infant in India before I was able to get the vaccine. So it was way after the vaccine was developed. So the doctors didn't know what it was, gave me the wrong medicine. I became a quadriplegic. Family left India and basically grew up in the hospital for the next 10 years. My family moved to England and then to Canada, actually, and I was in a free hospital, grew up in a ward. After 21 operations, actually was able to live a pretty normal life, but was bullied a lot in childhood, so really struggled with a lot of scars from that. Then as came to Christ in high school, thought I was going to live an amazingly fruitful, productive, wonderful, pain-free life, and that happened for a few years, and then it all fell apart. My infant son died because of a doctor's mistake, so sort of another doctor's mistake after the one I had dealt with. And that was the inspiration for the song Held. And then was diagnosed with post-polio syndrome, which means that even though I was able to walk and live a normal life, now my body's going backwards, so eventually I'll be a quadriplegic again, so deal with a lot with that. And then my ex-husband left our family, and I raised 2 adolescent daughters as a single parent. So each time I kept thinking, okay, my suffering is over. When is the easy life going to start? And yet in the middle of that, God met me in these amazing ways. But I still think, suffering doesn't have easy answers, and I think people want to give them because it makes them feel safe. I mean, we look at Job and his friends all had, like, if you do this, then it's going to be better. And I think we want formulas because we don't want to suffer, and we think if there's a formula, then maybe we can figure out how we won't suffer. Mm-hmm. And yet God's ways are mysterious, and suffering doesn't make sense.
Right. So, Vinitha, you had a choice, didn't you? I mean, a lot of people would have said, this is too much suffering, I'm going to end my life. Or this is too much suffering, I'm going to pick up the bottle. Or I'm going to pick up, the prescription of my choice, whatever. I mean, you had a choice to end your suffering or to avoid your suffering, but for whatever reason, you chose not to.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. I feel like God just kind of reaches out. I mean, I don't feel like it was anything amazing that I did. There were times when I felt so desperate. I mean, I screamed out to God, why do you hate me? Really could not figure out how this kept happening, and yet God would not let go of me. Like, it was wild when I turned to God, even in lament, which I think is one of the most beautiful things Christians can do. It is how Christians grieve, and it is talking to God, using the words in the Bible that are pretty raw at times, like, where are you, God? Why have you abandoned me? Why have you left me? But talking to God, I would say, John, is the way we move from wanting to die and to find ways to numb our pain to finding that God is there and God cares. And it's just being honest. It's not saying, like, all these wonderful praise songs. I mean, although those are great, and when we feel that way, we definitely should do that. But I think forcing ourselves to say things we don't mean is what pulls our hearts away from God. And throughout the Bible, God is like, don't draw near to me with empty words. Like, God knows our hearts. And I think that process of calling out to God and being honest is really what brings us back and helps us cope with whatever it is that's in front of us because we have God's presence.
Mm-hmm. What about the thought? Of course, people always talk about this, Vinitha. That God doesn't give you more than you can bear. I mean, is that true? Because oftentimes I think, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, God heaps it on some people, and other people sort of skirt through things. I mean, obviously, God has heaped it upon you, life. You have borne a lot of suffering.
Yeah, and absolutely. I think God gives us way more than we can bear. And I think he does that because he knows he can bear it with us. But we can't, I don't think we can do it alone. I mean, that saying, God never gives us more than we can handle is not in the Bible. And I think that's why Jesus says, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden. I will give you rest. And so I think when we get sort of to the end and we think we cannot do this, we can't. We need God to pull us through, to be there, to meet us. And I think that's the beautiful part about the Christian life is when we are right there at the end of everything we have and we turn to God, we find he is so much more than what we need.
Vinitha Reisner is with us. Check out her book, Walking Through Fire, a memoir of loss and redemption. Vinitha, I want to read you a couple verses from Psalm 44, which you mentioned in your Desiring God article, and then I want to ask for your feedback on it. This is Psalm 44, verse 9. And this is after the psalmist talks about through you we push back our enemies. You gave us victory. With your hand you drove out the nations and planted our fathers, and blah, blah, blah. But then it turns pretty abruptly at verse 9. But now, it says, you have rejected and humbled us. You no longer go out with our armies. You made us retreat before the enemy, and our adversaries have plundered us. You gave us up to be devoured like sheep and have scattered us among the nations. You sold your people for a pittance, gaining nothing from their sale. You've made us a reproach to our neighbors, the scorn and derision of those around us. You've made us a byword among the nations. The people shake their heads at us. My disgrace is before me all day long, and my face is covered with shame at the taunts of those who reproach and revile me because of the enemy who is bent on revenge. And all this has happened to us, the psalmist says, though we had not forgotten you or been false to your covenant. That's rough. For people who haven't read the Bible, they're thinking, is that in the Bible? It is in the Bible. It's preserved for us. Talk about how you hear that, Vinitha.
Yeah, well, I love the rawness of the Bible, Kathy, because I remember reading this a few months ago, and it just hit me, like, that's how we feel. The psalm starts off with praising God, and then it makes this tone like, we have been faithful, and you have done this. And I love the fact that God has preserved that for us to say, yes, we have been faithful, and often our suffering feels so unjust. Like we are mocked and driven into the dust and rejected and disgraced. And I'm sure there are people listening today that feel like, yeah, God has done all that. And yet what I love about this passage is it's right there with the psalmist saying, yes, you have done all this. And then he says, we are like sheep to be slaughtered. And what blew me away from this passage, was this is the passage that Paul quotes in Romans when he is talking about how much God loves us. And I had known that, but it hit me so hard when I read it a few months ago and looked at it in Romans. Because in Romans, honestly, Romans 8, I would kind of skip over that. Like, it didn't make sense. Paul is saying God loves us so much. If God is for us, who can be against us? And then he says, in all these things, we are more than conquerors. But in the middle of that, he says, we are killed all the day long. We are regarded as sheep to be slaughtered. And that, to me, just didn't make sense. But when I saw it in the context of Psalm 44, I get it. You feel like I am doing a real disservice to you. I am really wronging you. And I understand that you feel that way. But actually, even when you feel that way, I am lavishing my love on you in ways that you may not understand. Like, please acknowledging we don't understand it. But yet God is not leaving us out in the cold. He's not abandoned us. He loves us, and nothing will separate us from that love. And seeing that within context, like, yes, the psalmist says really harsh things to God. And in some ways, the Holy Spirit through Paul is saying, yes, I know it feels that way. Mm-hmm. But wow, nothing can separate me from you, from my love. And that just brings me to tears when I see God understands that we feel this way, and that's okay. Mm. But he keeps saying, I love you in the midst of this.
We're talking about when suffering doesn't make sense with Vaneetha Reisner. Vaneetha, we don't know each other. We've talked to you on the show several times over a couple of years. And when you do speak, in your voice, I don't hear despair. I don't hear, the pain that obviously you've gone through in your life. But I'm curious about your children and your family. They see that. Mm-hmm. They see what you've experienced. They're alongside you. How do your children interpret that in their own lives? Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, it was interesting because I think for a bunch of years, my daughters both wondered where God was in their pain after their dad left, and my body was weakening. And it was a chore to drive them places. I was a single mom with a body that was failing, and I think they wondered where God was. And yet they both saw that God was faithful to us and to me, and they both are walking with God and really see that God shows up when you can't do it. And I think there's a beautiful display of the gospel when we can't do it. Whereas I think before, I had great words for them, but when it's not backed up with a life that is trusting God, I think it doesn't mean quite as much. And so, I think my struggles helped cement my daughter's faith in God.
Yeah. Vaneetha, tell us how you are now.
I'm doing okay. I mean, I use a wheelchair more than I walk. I use voice recognition software to type. But I can use my arms, but they're very limited. And so physically, life is a challenge. My husband does a ton for me, and I'm so grateful for him. I remarried. But spiritually, I'm doing great. I feel like every year, even when life gets harder, God gets better. And so that's the gift of suffering, I think, is God is better than we can imagine.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Vaneetha, always good to hear from you. Thank you for being part of the show again.
Oh, thank you for having me, Kathy.
Check out Vaneetha's book, Walking Through Fire, a memoir of loss and redemption. You can buy it wherever you buy your books.
Fabulous. She's pretty amazing.
She sure is.
We'll take a quick break. Our daily feature, Does This Make Sense?, is next.
The most beautiful things in life start small, from a single seed. At Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse, with the aid of warm sun, fertile soil, and expert hands, those seeds blossom into gardens of fresh produce, delicious wines, and beautiful landscapes. Here at Bedner's Thriving Family Farming Garden Center, you'll find everything you need to inspire your own homegrown happiness. Bedner's Farm and Greenhouse in McDonald, making the world beautiful since 1917 at bednersgreenhouse.com.
Despite what the world will tell you, all of us, we living and breathing creatures of God, we were all made with a purpose. Now, you know this, if you've been to college, how pivotal those years were for you.
To establish who we turned out to be.
Yes. So I would think that someone who is a believer in Jesus Christ, you want to go to a university that points you in the direction to your divine purpose in life. Mm-hmm. And might I say, the place to go is Grove City College.
One of the issues about social media today is it tends to, put us in a place where we're always comparing ourselves to one another, right? We're always looking to be better looking, or we're looking to be smarter or wealthier or have better clothes or a better boyfriend or a better, whatever it is.
Yes.
And our purpose gets completely lost and we become purposeless. And we can fall into anxiety or depression or whatever it is. And we need strong and solid people around us and teachers who can point us in the right direction. I think that's another thing so essential about Grove City is you want to put your child in a community that's going to encourage them to develop their identity in Christ and not in all the comparison that's all around us all the time.
Summer's here. If you're planning ahead, look at Grove City College. GCC.edu, Grove City College.
Now that I've got your attention, let me tell you all about us. Whoa, tough crowd. Anybody out there? Hello? Anyone?
Fighting to be heard in today's competitive digital world?
It's time for Salem Surround. Let us handle everything and get your message seen and heard.
Let's turn up the volume on your business with Salem Surround.
Learn more by logging on to surroundpittsburgh.com. Surroundpittsburgh.com.
We are everywhere on your radio at 101.5 WORD FM Pittsburgh, at wordfm.com, the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Meet Brad. Brad's hard at work, or at least his website is. Ever since he added live chat with Salem Surround, Brad's customers are getting their questions answered 24/7. Website purchases have gone up 35%, and they're over 3 times more likely to buy from him again. No bots, just real people helping real people. Live chat. One of the easiest, most affordable ways Salem Surround can increase your business while you do other things, or nothing at all. Ask us how at surroundpittsburgh.com.
Partly cloudy skies expected for tonight. We'll see a nighttime low of 63. It'll be pleasant tomorrow with sunshine and a few clouds. Tomorrow's high 82. Tomorrow night, mainly clear skies with a low of 59. Friday will be mostly sunny. We'll reach a high Friday of 83. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm forecaster Drew Shannon.
Does this make sense?
Does what make sense?
Motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
They're exciting, fast, nimble, and dangerous as all get out. Now, when I was a teenager and in my 20s, motorcycles, I had 2.
Did you?
Made perfect sense.
Did you? You had 2?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Started off small and got super big. Now, they don't make any sense to me at all. I see them, and my one kid said, I think I'm going to get a bike. And I was like, oh, boy. Yeah, really? You know, I didn't say, do not. I mean, yeah, they make sense. Of course they make sense, but they're dangerous because people don't pay attention. People don't see them on the roadways, and you can die and get maimed in an instant. So that's the problem. But they sure are a heck of a lot of fun. So, yeah, motorcycles make perfect sense because they're really fun. I just wish people would be a little more careful. That's all. Accidents happen.
They don't make sense, John.
They make...
No, they don't.
Well, jeez Louise.
John.
That's rough.
They don't make sense.
They do.
You know why?
Why?
Because all the things you just said.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Because everything you just said.
Yeah, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
They don't make sense. That's just too dangerous. I want you to live.
You ever ridden on one?
Yes. I spent a lot of time on one.
Yeah. Oh,
exactly.
So you're the girl in the back.
Exactly.
I always worry about that girl in the back.
You know why?
Yeah.
Because she's on
hanging
the verge
on for
of
her
death.
life. Yeah. Because there's a pavement's like, 6 inches below.
Exactly. Because that doesn't make sense.
And you're whipping around corners.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
then you're taking off and hang on. Yeah, I get that. All right. Well, this is mine. It's nothing but... Does this make sense? Vienna sausages. Vienna sausages. I mean, you see them.
What's a Vienna sausage? That's like breakfast sausage?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know what they are.
That's delicious.
A Vienna sausage.
That's delicious.
No, here's the deal.
That's like the thing that you can order instead of bacon with your eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What could possibly be wrong with that?
Vienna sausages.
That
Here's the
makes sense.
ingredients.
Uh-huh.
Parboiled sausage made of pork and beef encased by sheep intestines and canned in chicken broth.
Well, not the way you put it.
That's an Armour Vienna sausage. Listen, I've been to, people, you're like, oh, here's an hors d'oeuvre. Here's a Vienna sausage hors d'oeuvre. The only thing that would make a Vienna sausage worse is if you ate it on a motorcycle. Okay, seriously. They don't make any sense at all. That is not good. But you think they make sense?
Well, I think they're delicious, but I didn't really know that.
What do you think they were? Caviar?
I just didn't know the information you provided there.
Yeah, parboiled pork or sausage
That can't be good.
encased in sheep
All right.
intestines.
You convinced me.
Sitting
Does
in
it make
chicken.
sense?
All right. Oh, wait. Oh, we're still here. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought we were going away. Okay. Here's a weird transition. This is the weirdest transition maybe of our entire radio career.
Right, which has been long.
Let's go to the phones.
Oh my gosh!
That's a broadcast professional
In the 4
segue.
o'clock hour, we opened up the phone lines. We I don't even know when the last time is we've done this, where we just did open phones, no like subject matter, but this is Ask Us Anything. 800-320-8255. Ask John and Kath anything. We call it To Tell the Truth. So you can ask us whatever you want, whether it's about the show, grandma's favorite recipe, or how we work the show, or why we married our spouse,
what
or
we had for lunch,
why we hired Christy, or whatever it is.
Hey, Christy's good.
You can ask us at 800-320-8255. And we had a bunch of people who we had to let go at the end of the 4 o'clock hour.
But they're not here now.
But they're not here now. Anyway, we decided to do it again.
All right.
So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we hope that we can talk to you. 800-320-8255. Ask us anything.
Yeah, okay. We'll be here.
101.5 WORD.
The teacher in the book of Ecclesiastes searched high and low for life's meaning and purpose, but to no avail. Nothing brought lasting satisfaction. Follow along as we retrace his steps of futility and then discover how God gives hope, meaning, and a proper perspective to life. This week on Truth for Life with Alistair Begg.
Tomorrow morning at 6 on 101.5 WORD.
The word around town is that Pittsburgh homeowners are choosing doing it right when it comes to their roofing, siding, and remodeling projects.
That's because since 1984, Doing It Right roofing, siding, remodeling continues to set the bar through clear communication and an installation that's second to none.
Doing It Right employs only the most experienced professionals to install and oversee your project.
They'll stop at nothing to ensure your satisfaction, doing business honestly, taking no money down and no payment until the job is complete.
Doing It Right will ensure that all work is installed to the industry's highest standards. Then back it all up with their lifetime workmanship warranty.
As a prestigious multi-award-winning Owens Corning Platinum contractor, as well as a VSI certified installation contractor, you can't go wrong with Doing It Right.
Mention John and Kathy for a discount off your estimate.
Call 724-NEW-ROOF for a free project evaluation or visit roofingcontractorpittsburgh.com.
Want it done right, call Doing It Right.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When it comes to your child's education, do you feel like you have a partner in your current school? Or is it more like you're on your own? As you look ahead to next year, now's a perfect time to consider a quality Christian education with a school who will be a true educational partner for you and your family. Many of our area's finest Christian schools are offering half-price tuitions for first-time enrollees, like Champion Christian School in Champion, PA. Find a school that's right for you at wordfm.com/tuitions.
Open phones. It's been a while since we've done this.
To tell the truth.
800-320-8255. We are taking your phone calls. Let's go to line 1.
Sounds good. Dan, welcome in.
Hi there. Hi, guys.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really good. I just got in my car. I really enjoy you guys, both of you, John and Kathy, and welcome, Christy. I have a lot of respect for you guys for what you do. You are in the right position. You bring glory to Word FM. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that.
Yes, you're welcome. The reason I called is I wanted to call when you guys did a sketch about redheads. It wasn't a sketch. It was just off the cuff, and you guys just back and forth named a redhead.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I couldn't do that for the life of me, but I was in stitches. I was laughing, It was great. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome.
For all you do.
Very
That's
nice.
awesome, Dan. Yeah, I remember that day.
I
was
can't say I
shocking.
remember.
It was shocking how many redheads we came up with. It was
Really?
ridiculous.
It was.
I mean,
It was almost like the bacon skit, akin to that.
Right. Right. There are a lot of. Thank you, Dan. Good to hear from you. There are a lot of redheads in the world. Dan, do you have a question today?
Nope, just a comment.
No, just a comment.
Great.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks.
appreciate
that.
Good phone call. Thank you. 800-320-8255. Let us go back to the phones. And this is Bob. Hey, Bob, thanks for coming along today. You get a question or a comment?
Yeah, I was just wondering what you guys thought about the environmental protesters protesting at the bike race, the Tour de France.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. You know, so do you watch, Bob, do you watch the Tour de France?
No, not really.
Yeah, I watch it. I mean, to me, the Tour de France is one of the most underappreciated sporting events in the world. I mean, anybody who's ever on a bike, everybody can ride a bike, but then these guys ride a bike for a month, you know, over 1,000 miles through the most torturous circumstances. The psychological pressure alone, I believe, is like the big thing, let alone the physical capabilities as well. So always along the line of the Tour de France, generally, there are always protesters because, you know, it's live television and anything can happen. Unfortunately, a lot of bikers get hurt because of the protesters or people, you know, just exuberant fans. So I don't have any problem, you know, with the protesters. There they are, you know, mostly in France, although this year the race started out in Belgium, then it went to Switzerland. Now, of course, it is in France, back in France where it belongs. You know, they've got every right to protest. They've got a worldwide audience on live television, so go for it. You know, everybody can chime in with their 2 cents.
Yeah, well, they've actually glued their hands to the road and they're setting off smoke bombs.
Yeah, I've seen that. Right,
No,
it is crazy.
Is this the same group that glued their hands to the?
No, this is
to
another
the painting?
thing.
Okay.
So yeah,
What's the deal with the gluing of the hands?
It's really weird. Here's the weird thing: is you know when you're gluing your hand that those guys are not going to put up with it. They rip their hands off
Right.
the pavement. So you know you
Yeah.
get. You know, so sorry, you've made your point, but you're going to suffer because of it.
Right. That seems like really. I don't know.
It's kind of
It seems like a
strange.
self-defeating way to
Yeah.
make the point.
Well, thanks, Bob. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, and you would think that being environmental people, if they wanted to protest a race, they should protest NASCAR or something, not a bike race. That's as green as you can get, right?
Yeah. You know,
That's a good point.
I'll give you a
Bob.
couple points on that.
That's excellent. Yeah, good. Yeah. So don't anybody. Can you imagine gluing your hand to a NASCAR track? You'd get run over.
Right.
Forget it.
Well,
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks, Bob. Very good. 800-320-8255.
Ask us anything.
Yeah, taking your phone calls as you heard. I think it's is that the first time we've ever talked about the Tour de France?
I think.
Maybe so. 800-320-8255. Let's go back to the phones.
Is someone going to talk about the Open Championship this week for golf?
Oh boy, that's fraught as well, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer, you're live on the air with us. How you doing?
Oh, fine. Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me.
We can.
Hear me? Okay, great. Oh, thanks for taking my call. I've just been in Pittsburgh since the 3rd of July here on work, and I just have been listening to you guys today, and I think you're so funny. I was laughing out loud like for the first time in like 2 weeks.
Oh, good.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, I had a question for you because basically I came up here for work. What I do, I am a nurse, and I am middle-aged. And to be honest with you, I feel like there is some ageism. And it's very interesting because the type of work that I'm doing, you know, as a traveling nurse, you know, when we apply for jobs, they can kind of look, you know, how many years of experience you've had, and they can maybe tell how old you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, getting, you know, kind of feedback is like, oh, she's kind of old. She might not be able to do everything you do, you know, stuff like that. So I have always wanted to start my own business. So my question was, you know, how do you, you know, feel, you know, have you ever done a midlife career
Career change.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like
Yeah.
opening.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit. We can hear you. I think we got the gist of the question, though.
It's kind of funny. I was talking to my nephew about this yesterday. My nephew is he's a really interesting, odd case. Never went to college a day in his life, but he has. I mean, it's really by the grace of God. He is the senior global director of creative services for Nike. And I mean, it's unbelievable, the story. If I could tell you the story, I mean, never having gone to college. However, he's thinking, well, he's 42, and he's thinking, I'm going to start a new chapter, like a strong. What's my strong second act? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, we've talked about that. What is the strong second act? And I think many people. You know, you reach 40 or 45, even 50 or so.
60.
Right. What's my next act? And I think that's it's a great question. It's a very difficult process to go through. And I do believe, you know, it's interesting, Jennifer, that there's ageism in the nursing profession. I mean, people are crying out for nurses, right?
Right. And I would think that nursing is an occupation where the longer you do it, the better you are, because it's such an incredible knowledge base. You could never know enough.
Yeah, your experience.
To be good at it. I got to be honest with you. I don't know this very well, but I did get into this work when I was in my late 30s. And that seemed late for most people who want to get into broadcasting are doing it when they're in their 20s.
I was 40.
And John was 40. So, yeah, so we did end up doing this late. I don't know. I hate to say this because this is what everybody says, but if you can network with people as much as possible online, then I think that can really benefit you, at least give you a different perspective on what you're doing. You know, put it out on Twitter, you know, find like-minded people on Instagram, that sort of thing, especially if you don't feel encouraged by the people you're working with.
But Jennifer, maybe you already know the answer to that. Do you know the answer to the question of what that second act looked like?
You know, I want to start my own business, and I feel like I have had so much life experience in so many different areas, and meeting people, talking about networking. Nursing is incredibly, you know, we meet people from all walks of life, and I have, you know, kept in touch with people and just made incredible relationships.
I bet.
And you know, honestly, it's funny because even some of the older nurses that I have here, you know, talking about, you know, kind of like getting their feedback. One of them even told me that she had to, for putting her profile out there to get this job that we're currently at, she had to make herself have less experience.
Wow.
Right, and that's stupid. First of all, Jennifer, we need to go because we have other people waiting to talk, but thank you so much for your call. Any person you're working with who thinks that you're better if you're dumber is not worth working with.
That doesn't make sense.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's not worth working with, and that organization is not worth working for if that's what they want you to do.
Yeah, but the idea of a strong second act, I mean, I think there's a lot of conversation. There's certainly a lot of material about that, but it is a weird journey. And I just think by you talking about it, saying it, putting it out there, praying about it, thinking about it, and networking, it will come to you. I have no doubt about that. It came to Kath and I.
Yeah.
It just, you know, there it was. We sought it out, and somehow God delivered to it. So, you know, that's really interesting.
800-320-8255. We got Roger on line 3.
Okay, 800-320-8255. Hey, Roger, how you doing?
I'm well. I am 27 years into my second act.
Oh, okay.
But it has not been pretty. So we're not. That's another conversation for another day.
All right.
What I wanted to, no question here, but just lay out there for people. You have had Tim Keller as a guest often on your program.
Yes.
I'm not able to hear all the time, but I think you were pretty regular with him.
Yep.
We have in our Bible class on Sunday morning a typical pattern of expositional teaching throughout the year, book by book, and but we take a summer off and we do teaching videos. And this summer we are doing Tim Keller's feature videos that he did for his RISE campaign in New York City. And I just want people to be aware that this material is available. Tim is an outstanding preacher, expositionally. He treats the text in depth and detail, and leaves you with a lot to be challenged and a lot to leave with. So this material is out on their page, on YouTube, but it provides a great summer respite in terms of lesson preparation. We have an hour and a half. We spend 20 minutes in prayer, then 15 minutes or so in introduction, then 30-minute video, and then another 15, 20-minute discussion following that. So Tim Keller at Redeemer.com or on YouTube. Great material. Don't pass it up.
Fabulous.
Hey, thank you, Roger.
Great for the encouragement.
Appreciate that. 800-320-8255.
We're going to step away for just a few minutes.
But if you wanted to ask us anything, you can. So give us a call back. We'd love to hear from you.
Very good. All right, we'll be right back.
My 5-year-old nephew was waving his Vorpal sword through the air, making those sounds. Hey, Titus, what are you doing, dude? I'm saving the galaxy, duh. It's Ryan, and the reality is, I feel like our Faith and Family Mortgage team has a galaxy-saving strategy for many families right now. It's not rocket science. The cost of everything is up. Gas, food, vacations, credit card rates. For many, times are tough. But one other thing is crazy up too. The value of our homes have jumped at historical levels, and this is our Vorpal sword. The strategy many are taking is they're cashing out that newfound money in their homes to help fight this inflation, to pay off or consolidate their debt, to do some fun things around the house, and to stash them away for peace of mind. If you'd like to see your options, we are United Faith Mortgage.
United Mortgage Corp, Melville, New York. NMLS number 1330. Pennsylvania Department of Banking and Securities. Mortgage lender license 22672.
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
When it's time to replace your roof, siding, gutters, and downspouts, entry doors, and of course windows, you can count on Windows R Us, the area's premier exterior replacement company. This is John Steigerwald. With over 50 years experience in the home remodeling industry, Windows R Us offers repair and replacement for all your exterior home projects. Why pay double with some other companies? Windows R Us will always give you the best price on the best in-class products, backed by the best warranties in the industry, all with zero sales pressure. And speaking of zero, right now get zero interest financing for 12 months and no processing fee with prices set to increase on all exterior products. Lock in your quote today. Schedule a free estimate and inspection today at WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com. You've tried the rest, now try the best. WindowsRUsPittsburgh.com.
Windows are us. You've tried the rest, now try the best.
Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
What is a warrior? At Portersville Christian School, it's more than a team name. A warrior is taught to serve, to passionately model the love of Christ toward neighbor, community, and world, to learn as they cultivate academic excellence and a lifelong love of learning from kindergarten to senior year, and to lead through Christian character and integrity. Are you a warrior? Discover Portersville Christian School, just 15 minutes north of Cranberry, where warriors are made, at ourpcs.org.
101.5 WORD-FM Pittsburgh. On your smart speaker by saying, play the word Pittsburgh. And on your phone via the Word FM mobile app, iHeart, TuneIn, and Odyssey.
Okay, so we're going to make a hard turn here. Today's National French Fry Day.
And if there's anything we want to celebrate for crying out loud, it's that.
Yep. Okay, so the City Paper did a little poll where they talked about, favorite places to go. The obvious places, of course, is where? Kennywood.
Oh, right, of course.
Right, Potato Patch Friday. But they had some unusual results as part of this poll. One of the top choices, this is crazy, the Carnegie Museum of Art.
What?
Yeah. Their cafe supposedly has really great French fries.
I've eaten at that cafe, but I've never had fries.
Yeah, what the heck?
Well, now I want to.
What the heck?
Okay, what else?
Parc Bruges. You know Parc Bruges?
Yes.
That's in Highland Park. The Belgian-style establishment, they say they got multiple votes. Their fries are thin, crispy, and plentiful.
Bring it.
Peterland. Have you been to Peterland?
Where's Peterland?
Brookline.
No.
In addition to the Mediterranean dishes, the cafe at Peterland also serves up some much-liked fries. Golden shoestring fries sprinkled with sea salt and served with rosemary alloy for dipping.
Oh, okay.
Salim's Market and Grill.
Really?
In the Strip. Yep. Salim specializes in halal and curry dishes, but apparently they make some mean fries as well with seasonal toppings like cheese, beef, bacon, and cheesesteak.
Okay.
Spack Brothers in Garfield, the No Frills Pizza Shop, became a local favorite. Plenty of options. I've never been there.
No.
Uncle Sam's.
Oh, bring it. That's on my list. I had 2, and that was number 2 on my list in Squirrel Hill on Forbes Avenue.
Yep, and Fuel and Fuddle.
Oh, I've had a lot of fries there, too.
Yeah, me too. I would say that'd be my choice.
Right, that's on Atwood Street in Oakland.
Yep, you got a choice? Where's your?
I would say Butter Joint on North Craig.
Butter Joint?
Yeah, they have very, very good fries.
Really? That's kind of high end, isn't it?
And I would say Uncle Sam's. Those would be my 2 favorites.
Yeah. I would say also Dad's. Dad's has 2 locations, in Monroeville and in Braddock Hills. And they make a great fry as well.
Christy?
You got a fry?
We said Potato Patch. That's
Of course.
Yes.
And I do not go here very often, but when I go home to hang out with my parents, we go to this place called Twin Oaks in White Oak.
Oh, really?
And they have this coating or something on the fries. It's good.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Coating. I still miss
I'd like
the
to
O.
know the specifics about coating.
Right, well.
I can't explain the coating.
It's probably oil with, something on top of it, right?
Most likely.
I still miss the O.
Yes, I know. The O is great.
I mean,
and the cheese was really great.
Fabulous. But you know what? The grossest thing is cold fries.
Cold fries should be disregarded.
But then you go, that's in my stomach.
I know.
I've eaten that disgusting mound of oil and grease, and there it sits.
I agree with you, but that can't dissuade you from your original purpose, which is the enjoyment of such a terrific treat.
Well, how about fries in a brown paper bag? Fabulous.
Remember the bonus fry?
Yes.
Jim Gaffigan talks about. Don't forget the bonus.
The Ride Home with John and Kathy, a production of Salem Media Group.